Hi, my name is Trey Smith. I am the events manager here at TheatreSquared.
And I am Rebecca Rivas. I am a senior artistic associate at TheatreSquared and the director of Laughs in Spanish. Wow!
Is this the crasher party? But crasher party.
Oh my god!
Hi, we miss you.
Oh my gosh, I miss you guys.
And we have a couple of party crashers, it looks like.
Oh, you met us, but Sachi play Carol, Slay.
Tony Knight, I play Estella.
And this is
Sit and Sip.
Back with another exciting episode of TheatreSquared Sit and Sip with the director of Laughs in Spanish and the party crashing actors of Laughs in Spanish. And today is a super exciting episode because we got some new drinks.
Woo!
So we are sitting and sipping the Latina Fey that you know and love and the sunflower, but with a little twist. What'd you do to it, Becky?
I just added some tequila.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you come to TheatreSquared, if the sunflower looks good, cause it does, you can also add tequila. Yes, so I am drinking the Latina Fey.
Oh, I love that drink. I had it earlier. It tastes like home. It tastes like a sofrito, which is like onions and garlic and bell pepper and cilantro, all like sauteed together. But like the smell of that, and it tastes just like home.
Wow. Yes, you heard it here first. Latina Fey tastes like home. If you want a taste of home, come get the Latina Fey.
Get it.
Hey, Becky, I'm so excited to be doing this episode with you. So, we know that you directed Laughs in Spanish, but what they may not know, you're also an actress.
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
Like TheatreSquared folks may remember me in like the Ding Dong.
Yes.
And then before that, Reasons to Be Pretty, and then just lots of Arkansas New Play Festival shows. So, yeah.
I think the first time I saw you act was in the Arkansas New Play Fest, and she's good.
I believe it.
She's going to be modest about it. She's great. But also a professor. Also the head of LXTP.
Well, I'm like their band manager.
Sure.
LXTP like leads themselves. Like they're just incredible group of artists, and I love working with them. And I totally am like their kind of, what do y'all need? Where do y'all want to go? What do you need to do? And then I just kind of support that. I mean, I help in other ways as well, but I definitely feel like I'm really more support for them as opposed to like their fearless leader. They themselves are fearless, and all of them leaders. So it's really great to work with them. But yeah, I was a professor for a long time. So I went to the U of A. I got my MFA in my MFA.
And if you haven't, come back and check it out so that you can get that joke.
Okay, it's funny.
And so I went to the U of A, got my MFA there in performance, and then the last weeks I think of the graduate program before graduation. One of our professors, Mavornine Dwyer, a legend, asked, does anyone have any interest in teaching in El Paso, Texas? So El Paso, Texas is where I am from. It is very much like why I wanted to get an MFA. I wanted to be able to go and teach there one day in higher learning, and so I kind of just I do. I didn't expect for it to be something that I was going to be doing so soon after I got my MFA, but the opportunity presented itself, and I'm kind of a, take the sign, go, do what where the river's leading you. So I applied, I got that position. I was a professor for about 7 years there at the University of Texas at El Paso, teaching acting. And by that point, I had been in academia a very long time. And teaching, I love it, and I do miss teaching a lot. But I also felt like I wanted to spread my wings in other ways. And this job popped up at TheatreSquared, working with Latinx Theater Project and being an artistic associate here, and having worked here so many times, and obviously knowing Bob and Amy, and understanding the style of theater, and understanding just kind of how TheatreSquared operates in terms of like how it treats people, and wants people to be treated, what they want their audiences walking away with. I just felt like it really aligned with what I wanted, and I applied, and then I got the job, and then I moved to Arkansas from Texas a second time. So yeah, and since then we got here in 2019 and have been here for almost 5 years now. Wow. It's wild, yeah, but it's lovely, and couldn't be happier.
That's so cool.
Yeah, thanks. Trey. That was a lot.
Well, cheers.
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 Salud.
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 Come on now.
I see. Oh, that's so cool. And you talked about a group that I love, LXTP. So you want to talk a little bit more about the Latinx Theater Project?
Absolutely, I do.
Yay.
So Latinx Theater Project is a theater group based in Springdale, Arkansas. It is made up of a bunch of different artists from different backgrounds, poets and actors, hip-hop artists, MCs. Like, they all come together and they write together this original work. Every year they produce a full-length piece amongst other pieces. I think next year will be our 4th annual Dia de Muertos celebration, and we always perform like a small piece or a big piece in concert with those ofrendas. Then they'll also do stuff like with Mas Libritos in Springdale, and do these book readings, and with Diana Dominguez, who will read the books, and then we're just basically her backup dancers.
Cool.
It's super fun when we're able to make those collaborations happen. But all the while we're doing these other projects, you'll see us at like workshops with like Crystal Bridges and stuff like that. All while they're doing that, they're also writing these original plays. And in fact, our last one just closed this past weekend. It's called Holy Waters. But they often, and they're working on a new one as well, but that one usually gets its first read at Arkansas New Play Festival. So we're excited to be reading the new work soon. It's going to be, I think, it's going to be a take on Sherlock Holmes. Right now, it's a working title. It's called The Homie Sherlock. It's gonna be really good. And so the wonderful thing about their work is it has poetry, it has music, all original songs. So you get they're also very funny. So you get laughter, and you get great songs that you probably the hooks are very catchy. You walk away with the hooks. You hear some really, really incredibly talented people who are from Arkansas, homegrown, almost all of them, I think, and making work about the communities they're from, and wanting to uplift those communities with this theater that they do. So it's just they're incredibly inspiring, and like I was mentioning. They're leaders, and they're because they're so connected to this mission of wanting to give back to their community and using art to do that.
Yes.
That's
cool.
LXTP.
That's LXTP.
Yeah.
And like Becky said, come support my homies in LXTP at the Arkansas New Play Festival, where you will get the new.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Trey.
Yeah. Okay, so in A Sit and Sip with the cast, we played a fun game, or well, we mentioned that this show is a co-production with Stages Theater in Houston.
Yes.
And then we played a game called Don't Mess with Texas.
Yes.
So I was hoping that you could tell us just a little bit about what a co-pro is and kind of what have been the joys, what have been some of the challenges, what it has taught you.
Sure, yeah. So, oh my gosh. So this co-pro with Stages was just really great. I mean, I think that both theaters kind of have like the same kind of goal with the shows that they choose, and it's also Stages and TheatreSquared had been wanting to do this for a long time. They wanted to co-produce something. So I was really excited to be able to do it because I had worked at Stages previously on their new play festival called Sin Muros, and had a really lovely time working with them. So this was a really lovely opportunity to do that. And one of the things, so every co-pro is different. It just kind of depends on what each theater's needs are. And so, one of the things that I was really very excited about, and I think one of the big benefits of doing any co-production is when you're working with theaters, and also because of what I do for TheatreSquared regularly, which is a lot of the casting stuff. I was really excited because one of the things that Stages wanted was they wanted to use Houston-based actors. So I was really excited to be able to meet some Houston-based actors. So, and that's exactly what I did. And because they just have such an incredibly talented pool there. And sometimes you're working in different cities, you don't really get to, and then it's not like Houston isn't New York or LA or Chicago, but it's this huge city with so much to offer, with so much talent. And so a lot of times, it's harder, like, just because of the way the industry is built, is to like break out of that. I think the pandemic actually allowed for a lot more opportunity there, where we're auditioning and seeing people like virtually, which is a pain in a lot of ways and not great. But also it just offers opportunity for artists who are not based in one of those places. So anyway, that's a whole other thing, but that's just me on my little soapbox. But so I was really excited, and so when our cast shook out the way it did, I was just so happy, because not only was I happy for our show, which has this incredibly just dynamic, crazy talented group of people bringing these characters to life, but I was excited for our whole team, our whole city, to be able to see these actors, meet these people, and so that then we have them, right? Like, these are people on our rosters and that we hope to work with time and time again. So I think that's one of the great things. And that goes, on top of that, that goes with designers. Like, you are meeting people and finding out like how they do something different, how this theater does something differently. And then they're also watching like, oh, y'all do that, and that's a really good idea how you structure, whatever. And so we're just learning from one another, and also helping one another in a time where theater really needs help. Where we are, like, theaters as a community are saying, okay, we've got your back, you've got our back, and we're gonna do this play together. And there are just a lot of really wonderful things that come out of it. But I think the most, for me, is the relationships that you're able to build, and meeting these people and working with them in a way that maybe you wouldn't have been able to work with them if you had just kind of been doing business as usual. So those are some great things. For me, the challenge was certainly, like, the space in Houston was very different than Spring Theater. so huge. Did you all talk about that?
Yeah,
like
no,
it was
we didn't.
so
We
big.
didn't, but it was genuinely so different. It was just oddly larger, and it didn't even feel as large, you know, when we were in there. But like getting switched here, it was like, oh,
yeah,
we were in a very, very, very big space, playing space for us, especially with it being an art gallery. You know what I mean? And everything is usually a lot more compact.
Yes.
Yeah, this space offered a lot of great new things.
Yeah,
truly. Being out here was really fun.
Yeah, I mean the challenge was shrinking it and making it fit, but then also like restaging it in a few places for this particular configuration, and just building new muscle memory. That was definitely going to be and lights and sound and stuff. All of that kind of just had to shift. So that's a challenge, right? But then I think it also offered just this really intimate setting for a play that I think really benefits from being so close to those characters and being able to see them, just seeing their eyes shift in these subtle ways and these really beautifully crafted moments by the actors and by Alexis Shear. It's just really it's just a great space. So I think, but then also in Houston, it was also a lot of fun to like build that set and walk in that space and see this huge, gorgeous set that Tanya Orellana built. And then also just kind of breathe the air of like with all of, just lots of air.
Yeah.
Because it's so big. Yeah. So there's also that. There's also just kind of the nice, the largesse of like bringing a piece like this into a space that big. So, there are pros and cons, but I think the audiences here are getting a really, really special treat with this show. Yeah.
Okay. Last question. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Wait. Do we need?
Okay, I'm ready. Ready. Yeah.
Can you tell me what is this show about for you?
Yeah. So I have to say that I read this play. First time I read it was when I got back from maternity leave. So it was one of the first plays. I was like, read this play, tell me what you think. And so it hit different. Yeah. This play does because so much of it hinges on a mother-daughter relationship, and so much hinges on spoiler alert? Do you all do like a spoiler alert?
Yeah.
Okay. And
we can fix it in post. We can fix anything in post.
Okay. So it also involves this incredibly talented young artist finding out that she's pregnant, and the journey to decide what to do about that. How to deal, not necessarily the choice of whether to keep the baby, not keep the baby, but the choice of when you have chosen to be a mom in this field, what does that entail? Yeah. And then of course the relationship between Mari and Estela also really digs in and explores that in these really in these ways that just really hit me in the chest when I was reading it for all of these women, and as well as for Juan's character as well. I think you go on this journey with them, and it just something about it just rings true. And if you've had a mom, if you've had just a parental figure, if you yourself have thought about or are a parent, all of these things that on many different levels hit. So for me, when I was reading it, obviously those things were hitting. And then it was just so unbelievably funny. It was just so funny, and it was one of those, I think the Native Gardens did the same thing to me, where I was sitting somewhere reading the play and looked like, what is wrong with her? Because I was just what is she reading? What is she doing? Because I was just laughing out loud in public space. and didn't care because it was just so dang funny. And that's, you know, and for me, that's what this play was about, and I think is why I feel like it's so important for folks to watch it. Is it's about risking it all a little bit. Like it's about these people who, well, one person in particular, right, who has made their life so that they risk very little, and they are self-protecting, and they're making sure that risk is like low. And because of that, their life has taken a turn that maybe they didn't foresee. But all around them are these people who are risking it all, unafraid, and doing it because all they want is for the person they love most in the world to have this capacity for joy and this capacity to laugh out loud in a way that is like unedited, and just is you know, a laugh with a snort in it, you know? That's what they want for that person, to be able to do that freely and openly and not care. Like just laugh, just be who you are through all the mess of it all. And so they're all working towards that, and I just think that is always a good story to tell. But I especially appreciate that it's about these women of color, and centering their story, and just centering joy, which to me, when you're able to do that and center that, I think that's very powerful, as opposed to centering, you know, the latest drug lord story.
Right.
I think that's one thing that I think that was a big plus for me, when we chose to put this show up, at both